is Arts Alive. We're doing a remote show at the Chehalem Cultural Center in Newburgh. And my guest today is Lauren Wylie. She's the marketing coordinator for the center. So welcome, Lauren.
Thanks for having me today.
It's I'm looking forward to hearing about what all is going on and what you do here.
Well, I'm the marketing coordinator for the Cultural Center, which involves a lot of really fun jobs. I'm in charge of the website and the graphics and kind of overall look and feel of the center. I have a huge tie to this building. My mom was the last principal here, so I was just born and raised in these bones, and I love this building so much.
Oh, yeah.
And I know what it feels like to have it full of life, and I just can't wait to see that come back again one day. And with that, I launched a fundraising project, kind of on my own as a personal thing. As you know, I'm just one person trying to make a difference, and you know, it's called Art to Life.
Okay.
And this is the box for it.
A lady with a box.
A lady with a box.
I love
boxes.
it.
Well, the fun thing is, you have no idea what's inside of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like I would buy this box.
You would buy this box for $100.
Okay.
And all you know is that an artist from somewhere put something that goes inside this box. So I have gotten artists from everywhere in the world, Israel, Guadalajara, Mexico, UK, everywhere, just from, they love the story about the box and what it represents and what power it could have. So half the money is going to go to the Cultural Center. All of the proceeds are going to go to either the Cultural Center or the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So half of it obviously goes here and the other half goes to LLS. And what's a unique tie in the project is that you're supporting the arts and culture in a community, but then you're also fighting cancer. And the reason why it's become successful throughout the world is that unfortunately everybody knows someone with cancer. And especially as our budgets dwindle, it's really becoming difficult to support and sustain art. I'm sure as everyone knows.
Yes.
It's the first thing that goes in every budget. So this kind of just came to life in its own one night, and I've been just pushing it as much as I can and hoping to see where it goes.
So let me get this straight. When I buy this box, I'm not buying an art project. I'm buying a piece of art. Okay, so I'm buying something that an artist has donated.
Exactly.
Oh, when you were first talking about it, I thought, oh, I'm buying an art project and I don't know what it's going to be. Okay, so I see. Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
Thank you. Yeah. I work at an art gallery too downtown, and so a lot of the artists there are stepping up and giving away pieces of artwork. And I have college students, and I've got people from all over Oregon and the United States donating, and they've been slowly coming in, and so it's a fun thing. You know, like when I got the box from Israel, I had no idea it was even coming, and they texted me and they're like, oh my God, we got a box from Israel. So, and it's the stories that go into each piece is so unique. And I'm hoping that one day, you know, a state can adopt this program and choose and vote on a cultural center that they want to support. And therefore, you're fighting two great causes and bringing a community together, and also the artists along with it. So,
yeah, you know, that's true. I mean, because as much as this is about the center is about, you know, art for the community, it's also about a place for artists.
Oh my gosh, definitely. And I think a lot of the times the community doesn't feel like it's really for them, because, you know, especially in Newburgh, I feel that most people have never had art in their life. I know I'm from St. Paul, and art, we never had any art program. We never had a music program. And so, you know, it's getting people comfortable with, you know, this is something that you should adopt in your life, and, you know, come at night, relax, you know, throw a pot, you know, something like that. And once we start building that kind of culture and embracing the fact that, you know, this is in your community and it's this gem, and we're here for you. I mean, we're nonprofit. We're not here to make any money necessarily, but just to keep us going and to keep providing you amazing experiences. So, and artists, we've had some great teachers come through here, and I hope that artists recognize that this is a place for them too. We have some festivals coming up where we're going to have fine arts and crafts fairs, and you know, we have First Fridays where we're always trying to feature artists too, and so this is a place really for them as well. So yeah.
So on First Fridays, do you always do something here?
We do. We have an artist represented, and we're trying to do something a little bit different. We're having a few, like we had a functional potter selling wares this Friday, or this past first Friday, and so we're getting a few like smaller booths, and especially in the summertime, we're doing like a raku barbecue. So we're having the Taste of 808 come and cater, and then you get to fire a pot and see, like, I think raku's easy. It's an easy sell because there's fire involved.
That's so dramatic.
Exactly. Yep. So I'm so happy with the support that the community has given me for this project and the cultural center. And like, for instance, there's one artist that she passed away last year from cancer, and she's from Portland, and it was my aunt's best friend. Her name's Katie Bendig, and her family is putting together a box in memory of her.
Oh, that's wonderful. And
the story continues, and it's going to be hard for me to give up that box because I know how powerful it is, and I hope that whoever gets it recognizes how powerful it is. I was working in the art gallery last week, and this woman came in, and I started telling her about the box and the project, and she was an artist. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really excited about this one that this family's putting together, and I told her, and she just went like ghost white. And I was like, are you okay? And she's like, that was my best friend.
Oh my goodness.
And she started crying, and I was like, wow. This is why I do it, because unfortunately there's a lot of artists out there too who've suffered from this terrible disease.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about artists, a lot of time, I mean, for anybody who's self-employed, what kind of health care do you have, and the access that you have to resources in terms of fighting it. Those are important. Those are important issues. I think this is really good work you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the rest of the cultural center, if you guys haven't experienced it yet, is this the future and what its potential, what it could eventually be. Is remarkable. There's nothing like it in Oregon. Someone told me last week, there's not a cultural center in Oregon. I didn't realize that. We have like a performing arts theaters, and we have, arts community centers, but we don't have an actual cultural center. And so, this could be something that the state can embrace as, this is something unique.
This is a model for other communities, obviously.
Exactly.
Now let's talk a little bit about, because you said something about a larger cultural district.
Yes. What's really neat in this whole property is that we're working with 3 different civic entities. We have the city of Newburgh, and then the Chehalis Park and Recreation District, and then we have our nonprofit board, the cultural, the CCA. So them working all together, they hired a firm out of New York called Project for Public Spaces, who has traveled throughout the world to develop public and civic and places for people, and they know what works, they know what doesn't work, and they know how to make a living room happen in your community. So we've hired them, and they've put together this amazing plan, and it's still in the development stage, but we'll have this whole area, besides just the building, we'll have this green space, and then we'll have a few other things. So we'll have parks and water features and outdoor sculptures, and we're partnering with the library too. So we're hoping to really unite what's happening between us. And then there's going to be one of these, across the street over here, there's going to be like an outdoor theater area, and this huge plaza in the front where anything can happen. We're going to have farmers markets, and anything's possible. So. Well,
does that mean that existing buildings will come down?
That's kind of still in the developing stage. There's the one building across the street from the library could potentially come down. I don't think there's any fight against it staying up, but when it comes down, I think the potential for what that land could be is even greater than what the building's housing right now.
Because it seems like that a lot of times what will happen in a city is, cities historically, they're built from the center out, and so with the spaces that are left to be developed tend to be out of town, so to be able to create space sort of right in the heart of the old historic downtown here, I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, and we have a lot of visionaries to thank for that, people who recognize that, this could be something special, and we got to hold on to it. Because of those people who saw what it could be, I think that's what's going to keep carrying us through, because a lot of people don't recognize what it could be yet, and that's fine, and hopefully you'll adopt it.
Well, you know what, that's what marketing and outreach and education and all those sorts of things are about, just to slowly keep bringing it, before the public consciousness, so they kind of connect the dots and see this is what can happen. And you know, I think it's great that Newburgh has done this because, you know, I think a lot of people think, well, Newburgh, it's a great town, but you know, obviously you've got the highway that runs right down the middle of town. So where is, as you say, sort of the living room, the community space? Obviously George Fox is a hugely important component of the town and other things, but to create this space where people can just be, you know, and shut down to traffic or whatever, and so it's pedestrian and getting people out. I think that's really an amazing thing.
And we're trying to, you know, create pedestrian-friendly areas where there's no cars allowed, and it's, you know, just for walking. You know, how often do you really have that? I mean, you get that in metropolitans, but in a small community like Newburgh, you know, being able to, you know, let your kids go out on the front of the area and not worry about cars, and you know, being able to overflow when you have a concert, you can have more people, and but I definitely agree. Everyone always thinks like Newburgh's a great town, but, and you know, we're in wine country now. We have to think about what is our market in wine country. There's a lot of people coming in from all over the world, and they are cultured and they have arts in their life. And how are we going to compete amongst the other towns that are here? Not that we want to compete, but you know, how do we work with it, and what is our strong suit? So a lot of people are thinking that art is what it's going to be for Newburgh. And you know, Carlton has their unique boutique wines, and they have you know, really high-end winemakers there, and McMinnville has a really cute downtown. But you know, what if Newburgh became, this is the art district of wine country?
I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, because art and wine and food go hand in hand.
They do, absolutely. Yeah.
So.
And I know that you've got, you know, plans for the theater here, and live theater and performance art and things like that. And you're right. I mean, with this development as wine country, there's just so much more to do, and that's, I mean, it's kind of like California, you know. Napa was just this little podunk place on a map, and now look at it, and the whole surrounding area. So yeah, it starts small, but I think it really does take that vision to make it happen.
Exactly, and without also because the cultural center is strictly funded by individuals, and it's not, we don't have government subsidies backing us up or funding us. So it's been people in the community who have stepped up and given generous amounts of money, and then also grants and foundations like the Ford Family Foundation and those kinds of people in Meyer Memorial tries to have stepped up and seen what we're thinking about and totally are with us too.
But you know, I guess I would say that I sort of can see the potential for government funding, I mean grants, just in terms of, you know, economic development, cultural development, and the idea that, you know, this could be a pilot program. And you could take what you've done and all the lessons that you learn, and you could help other communities be able to develop something like this, you know, in their town, as long as it's not too close to your town. In another state.
Yeah, in another state, in another state.
So prior to doing this, Lauren, what were you doing?
I do graphic design and web development and photography on the side.
So you're an artist also?
Yes.
So really everybody who's involved in running this place is also a working artist.
And I think you kind of have to be.
Yeah,
Just because if you're not, you don't really get that creative vibe. Like when you go to our office, it's a creative environment. You know, we can talk about art, we can, you know, judge art, we can critique it with open minds, and we're not, I mean, in this kind of environment, you have to be open to people's emotions and, you know, what happens with art, because it's all expressive and it's all individual, and yeah, I love working here.
Well, and also you have the language to be able to convey the vision, you know, to the community, which I think is what it takes. It can't be so dry and abstract that people don't really catch fire, because what you want is you know, a lot of investment, a lot of emotional investment from the community, and for them really to feel the passion that's involved. So I guess I, you know, really want to say thanks for sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
And some of the things that you have going on and some of your vision for the future, for sure.
Yes, thank you. And I hope that if you haven't visited the Cultural Center, please come by. We have exhibits quarterly. You can see everything online. And we're always open to, you know, meeting our neighbors and meeting the community. So, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.